The Whispering Shadows. Late one autumn evening, Sarah moved into an old, weathered house nestled deep within a forest. The townsfolk avoided it, murmuring warnings about strange occurrences, but Sarah dismissed them as local superstitions. She needed the solitude to finish her novel, and the price of the house was too good to pass up. On her first night, as the wind howled outside, she noticed a faint whisper in the air. She paused, thinking it was the breeze slipping through cracks in the window, but the whisper grew louder. She couldn't make out the words, but it felt as though something, or someone, was speaking directly to her. Shaking off her unease, she continued writing. Hours passed, and just as she was about to head to bed, she heard it again. This time, the whispers were coming from the hallway. Slowly, she opened the door. The hallway stretched before her, bathed in shadows. At the far end, barely visible, she saw a figure standing still. Heart pounding, Sarah blinked, and the figure was gone. Convinced it was her imagination, she returned to her bedroom, but sleep eluded her. All night, she heard faint whispers just outside her door, growing louder, closer. But every time she checked, the hallway was empty. The next day, Sarah explored the house in daylight. As she entered the basement, a chill ran down her spine. The air was thick and musty, and in the far corner she noticed an old mirror draped in a dusty sheet. Curiosity got the better of her, and she pulled the sheet away. The mirror's surface was warped, giving off an eerie reflection of the dim room. As she stared into it, she thought she saw something move behind her. She whipped around, but the room was empty. That night, the whispers returned, louder than ever. This time, they weren't just whispers. They were voices, hissing her name. Sarah, Sarah. She froze as she saw the same figure from the night before, now standing at the foot of her bed. Its face was obscured, shrouded in darkness, but she could feel its gaze piercing through her. Panicked, she grabbed her phone and dialed the police, but the call wouldn't go through. The figure stepped closer. Sarah's heart raced as she stumbled backward, knocking over a lamp. The room plunged into complete darkness. Suddenly, the whispers stopped. Silence filled the room. Then, from the darkness, a raspy voice whispered in her ear, "You shouldn't have come here." And before she could scream, the figure lunged. The next morning, the townsfolk noticed something strange. The old house in the forest was quiet. Too quiet. When the police arrived, they found no trace of Sarah, except for her reflection, still trapped in the old warped mirror, forever screaming silently from the other side.